Hi guys, my name is Liam,
And I'm Tony.
and today we're not playing any games or reacting to anything. We're going to talk about a game that I made.
So this year, Liam decided he wanted to do kind of a live-action role-playing
Pokemon
game.
game.
He had been playing, kind of playing with his friends and telling me about things that were happening, and it sounded like something that would be fun for us to do together. So what are we calling this?
We're calling this game Pokemon Nature.
Pokemon Nature. Pokemon Nature, which is why we're kind of outside right now recording in nature. So hopefully you can hear some of the beautiful birds in the background here. But let's talk a little bit about Pokemon Nature. What generation Pokemon are in Pokemon Nature?
From all Pokemon from Gen 1 to Gen 9. Yeah, pretty much all the Pokemon except for some of the legendary Pokemon. You cannot catch any Mega Evolutions. You can catch Alolan and Hisuian Galarian forms of all Pokemon.
All right, and what were the 3 starters available in Pokemon Nature?
So the 3 starters that were available were Froakie, Cyndaquil, and Trico. And he picked not Trico, our other friend, our imaginary friend.
Our rival in the game, if you will.
Yeah. Well, I guess we don't really have rivals. I guess it's just friends. But
see, this is somewhere we disagree because in the original games, which I grew up playing, Red and Blue, they always called the person who gets the Pokemon with you your rival. And then in the later games, they become kind of more of a friend. Like, if you compare what Gary was in the original show or the original Pokemon games, which is, or Red and Blue, which is what it was originally, obviously. Growing up playing Red and Blue, I always named myself Ash and the rival Gary just because I watched the show. But they were always more of a rival. They were mean to you, they said things that they were kind of just a rude person overall, the way they treated their grandpa, Professor Oak. But nowadays in the games, like in the most recent games, Hop and who's the other one in Scarlet?
Nimona.
They're more friendly with you, but they're still playing the rival character because they're rival to you in the game.
Nimona really is the friend, but because Gita said, right now I just beat the Ghost Gym in Pokemon Scarlet, and after I beat the normal type gym with Larry, we had a Pokemon battle, and Gita was observing it, and she said, and then once Nimona ran off to train up some more, Gita said, I think she knows that you guys' friendship might lead to rivalry someday or something. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So our rival or friend in this game his name is Jeremy, and what was his starter?
Trico.
Trico, right. And I started with
Cyndaquil,
right, which ended up being a Hisuian Cyndaquil.
No, there's no Hisuian Cyndaquil.
Well,
Hisuian. Well, he evolved it into Hisuian Typhlosion.
Right. Yes. So that's what makes me think Hisuian Cyndaquil. And your starter was
Froakie.
Froakie. That's right. So we've been playing for about 2 weeks.
Probably I think 3.
2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We have a little park down the road from us that
Grill Park.
yeah, down the road from us that we had ridden to, and we had a gym battle there. It is really an exercise in my imagination to play this game. So tell our listeners, our watchers, about the first Pokemon that you captured after your starter.
So yes, both of our starters have fully evolved, and as you can see right next to Greninja on Liam's Pokemon Nature, you can see right next to Greninja is Pidgeotto. And in my mind, I just thought, I'm gonna be like every player, and the first Pokemon I catch after the first battle, we didn't have a first battle as soon as we caught our Pokemon, but like if we did have a first battle, I'm gonna be like every trainer and catch a Pidgey or a Rattata. And he evolved into Pidgeotto.
And the first Pokemon that I captured after my starter was an Elekid. Is that right?
Yeah, Elekid.
Yeah, Elekid, and then a Nidoran.
Yeah, I remember when you went to the ball, I said, look out for electric types.
Yes, that's right. I found an Elekid hanging out near. He was actually plugged into an electrical socket.
Yeah, here. I have a book about this. Here, let's see. I have a bunch of different Pokemon, and I think he should be in here. Let's go to E and D right now. I'll be like soon. Hold on. F G D E. All right.
Oh, one more. Oh, one more.
Hold on. There we go. Elekid, the 239th Pokemon. Type is electric. When a storm approaches, this Pokemon gets restless. Once Elekid hears the sound of thunder, it gets full-on rowdy. And then here's the part that shows where he found his Pokemon. It's not good at storing electricity, yet this Pokemon seeks into people's homes looking for electric outlets to eat electricity from. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
So I captured him after he was plugged into an outlet at the ball, and I think the next day I captured the Nidoran in our yard. You know what? I realized that so my Cyndaquil was fainted from capturing the Elekid and a few other battles, and then I knew that Elekid wasn't going to be a good Pokemon to try to battle and capture my Nidoran because
so he asked for help
from
me.
Yeah, exactly. He's immune to electric moves, so I had Liam come out, and we battled him right next to a tree in our yard.
Yeah.
And who did you use?
Geodude.
That's right, Geodude. Only a couple attacks weakened him enough to capture. And then I think after that, Liam gave me his Murkrow. That's right.
Yeah, those are the Pokemon that I wanted to capture.
Yeah, he had a Murkrow in the box with Professor Oak.
Yeah.
And then after our gym battle, we found an Abra right near the gym at the park. And that was our first gym battle?
That was
our first gym battle.
Yeah, it was first. That was the rock gym.
Rock gym, that's right.
And
found
you can
an Abra.
You get evolved.
They can't see anything. Oh. And we found that Abra in the park near the gym. And of course, we know Abras are really prone to teleporting away if they are startled. So Liam had the great idea for me to throw some Chesto berries.
Hold on. Chesto berries.
Chesto berries, that's right. Chesto berries. And we were able to sneak up on him. And after the second berry, I think, I held out a Pokeball, asked him if he wanted to come along, and he touched it and went inside.
Nice.
So, probably my favorite story of catching a Pokemon so far.
Yeah, I think he made a AI picture of it.
Yeah, yes, I did.
Yeah. One of the first ones looked like, what's it called? A Sandile mixed with Ratatouille.
Yeah, that was very odd. And then after that, the last one that I got was Liam again, actually capturing he knew I was on the lookout for a Hisuian Growlithe. So he found one in the yard while we were all outside and caught it and transferred it to me. So my team started with Cyndaquil, Elekid, Nidoran, Murkrow, Abra, and Hisuian Growlithe. And since then has evolved to Hisuian Typhlosion, Electabuzz, Nidoking, Honchkrow, Kadabra, and Hisuian Arcanine, which is one of my favorites on the team. Love the mixture of rock and fire. Think that's such a cool mixture because it kind of gives like a lava feel to me, which makes sense because of where he lives in the game. So, and then why don't you go ahead and give them a rundown of your party and where you started, how you got them, and where you're at now.
Alright, so yeah, as I said before, Froakie was my partner. he was doing pretty good. Once I caught the first three, I think I caught 3 Pokemon just after I got Froakie. I caught Pidgey, Slowpoke, and Geodude, which for some reason on the Data Dex app is a Graveler right now, but he evolved into a Golem at when we were visiting the beach. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Can they see this?
No, they can't see the data. We have been using an app called DataDex, which is, I think, one of the best Pokedex apps. I haven't used a ton of them, but I've used a few, and DataDex has the most complete Pokedex I've seen, and the ability to build teams, which is the whole reason I downloaded it, because Liam can keep everything straight in his head and knows exactly who is on whose team. But I need a little bit of help, so I have built our teams, and Liam has it on his tablet, and he has our teams built, and then I have rival Jeremy's teams, and then we'll get to the bad guys' teams in just a minute.
Yeah.
So go on.
So yeah, I found a King's Rock, and evolved Slowpoke. And Slowking is so good. Slowking is so good against Pokemon with the Water and Psychic type. And I haven't used Golem that much yet, so I'm planning on doing a little hyper training on him. And bro, Toxtricity, so cool, so cool. I think Toxtricity might just be one of my favorites on the team. So yeah, my story of how I caught Toxel is similar to how he caught Abra, except I didn't really sneak up on him, throw a Pokeball, or, well, I didn't hold out a Pokeball. Well, I did hold out a Pokeball, but I did not sneak up on him. I didn't throw any berries or anything. But, like, I was going to go outside to see if I could catch some more Pokemon, and I find this Toxel. It was really windy out. On the deck, I found this Toxel, and he's like trying to fight the wind. And as most of you know, he's known as the baby Pokemon. So I take him inside, and kind of like David, I said, "Do you want to come with us?" And he said, and he's been on our team since, and he's really good. The next Pokemon is Cerulege. Perfect. He is so strong. I think he's usually the first Pokemon I throw out when I'm trying to deal with the bad guy team, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. And when I caught him when he was just a Charcadet, he did not evolve, so I beat the water gym. He did faint in the water gym, and I gave him some hyper training. I asked him what he wanted to be when he evolved, and he said Cerulege. Well, kind of said Cerulege. Mm-hmm. I could just make out what he said. And I think he loves his life as a Cerulege, so happy for him.
All right, well, let's talk about Jeremy, our friend / rival. Let's talk about his team. He, as you know, started with a Trico, that's right, who has since evolved into a Grovyle. Mm-hmm. What was his second Pokemon?
I think his second Pokemon was Machop, which has evolved into Machoke. And then he evolved into... Not evolved. Then he got Onyx in a cave. I don't know which cave he visited, but I don't think I've ever been to a cave here. So the only way I found Geodude was behind a tree. And he caught a Goldeen, too. And he has evolved into Seeking.
So we have Machoke now, Onyx, Grovyle, and Seeking on Jeremy's team.
Oh yeah, and we have a little secret code to let the other people know if somebody evolved. We do the noise.
So anytime Liam or I does that noise, we turn to the other person and say, "Oh, who evolved?"
Do, 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 diddly, diddly, do. Onyx evolved.
Oh, Onyx evolved. All right, so
We got a Steelix now.
that is pretty cool. I really love Steelix.
Me too. But not as much as Onyx. I think I like Onyx better than Steelix. But Steelix is a really cool Pokemon.
All right, now on to Team Soulfire, which is just a little fun reference to my wife and I's photography company. But they are like Team Yell or Team Rocket in some of the other games.
Or the Explorers or Team Star.
Team Star, right?
Yeah. But they're really based off of the Team Rocket, Jesse and James. They're like, based off what I assume, they're not real Team Rocket grunts, but they're like training to be Team Rocket grunts, and they're always just trying to get in your way. So
yeah, they're kind of like the
they're kinda
silly
like that.
version. They're not really that. They're trying, but they're not really that evil. They're just they're kind of irritating, but almost in a lovable way. And their names are Bruce and Brianna. So like Jesse and James, we got some alliteration going on there. Let's talk about Brianna from Soulfire. What are her Pokemon?
So, actually, I don't know why we have Cubone on here. Cubone evolved into Marowak a long time ago. Well, actually, it evolved into a Lowland Marowak. Yeah, their main types of Pokemon are Ghost and Fire types. Yeah, they like those types of Pokemon. So Brianna has a Ghost and Fire type and a Ghost and Poison type. So she has a Lowland Marowak and Haunter.
That's right. And we won't spend a ton of time on her. We'll go ahead and go straight over to Bruce. And is this correct?
Neither.
No?
Yeah.
Both evolved?
Yeah.
So Bruce started with a Litwick.
And a Magby.
And so we have a Lampert and a Magmar.
I thought it was Lampent.
Oh, is it Lampent? Did I misread that? Yep, Lampent. You're right. Lampent and a Magmar.
Yeah, they're pretty strong, but they're still not strong enough for the knight and ghostly armor. Cerulege. So yeah.
So it's been awesome so far. We've beaten 2 gyms in our world. The next gym is that was the rock and then the water type gym.
Yeah.
We did the rock together, but we did the water type separately.
Yeah. The rock type was a double battle, and we had to take turns with the water type gym.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Slowbro. The water type gym had Slowbro as their last Pokemon. They didn't do anything with Slowbro. They didn't Dynamax or Terrastalize. And apparently it was Galarian Slowbro. Yeah, because he had the Shelter on his arm. I have no idea why they call it Shelter. It looks nothing like Shelter.
No, you're right. It's very odd.
Yeah. I mean, the closest thing to that shell thing would be Cloyster.
Yeah.
But still not that close, even.
Right.
Even then.
And then the next gym we have to face
is the Fire Gym.
Yep, Fire Gym.
Yeah.
We haven't decided if we're going to do that one together or not yet. We'll see, though. And then, the other thing about Pokemon Nature's world. So, where in Pokemon Sword and Shield, the region has the kind of what kind of energy is that? The energy
Dynamax?
comes from the ground, the Dynamax energy, so that you can Dynamax Pokemon over areas where there are a lot of that energy coming out of the ground. And in Scarlet, you can Terrestrialize, and then I think, did we decide to include Mega Evolution as well?
Yeah, you can Mega Evolve.
So we've kind of, just like we've included all the Pokemon from all the regions, we've allowed for different battles to do any of those things.
Yeah.
I would say probably not multiple in one battle, because that would we're already edging on pretty OP with our teams as they are. But yeah, one of those things per battle, I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you think they should know about our Pokemon Nature experience?
By the way, you cannot catch Mega Evolved Pokemon. There are 8 gyms. We do have the Elite Four. The legendary Pokemon. The plot. The legendary Pokemon in the plot. That's probably what builds up this game to be our game. Kind of like Pokemon Sword and Shield, we have a villain legendary Pokemon and we have an antagonist and a protagonist legendary Pokemon. Our protagonist is Kyurem and our antagonist is Hoopa.
Hoopa!
Yeah, in my book it says that Hoopa once lifted a castle off of the ground to steal all the treasures inside, and I got us all tickets to go see a certain castle, to go see that castle, and it has Kyurem protecting all the treasures in it. And Hoopa, while we're there, Hoopa, of course, escapes out of like this test tube. The scientists are trying to study him. He was in his confined form, but now he's unbound, and we have to fight alongside Kyurem to defeat Hoopa. And since there's 3 of us, it won't be fair to just give him to one of us. So we each get one of his rings, and we give him back to the scientists to study, and we give him the tip that they need to upgrade their security.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Kyurem is in his black Kyurem when he's protecting the treasures, but once he battles with us, he becomes white Kyurem.
And who are the legendaries in the game?
That's what I just said.
Oh, just Hoopa and Kyurem?
Yeah.
No others?
No others.
Okay. No legendary birds in our game?
No.
Okay.
We could probably do that in another game, if we ever do another game.
Yeah. Alright, well, thanks for listening to us talk about Pokemon Nature. Hopefully we'll have an update in the future.
Yeah. This was really fun. Thank you, guys.
Alright.
Making some adjustments to the team, talking about the plot. I think this is really cool.
Yeah. Kind of a fun live action role playing imagination game. Like I said, it's definitely an exercise as an adult to come back to this kind of imagination, but it's really fun to see how my son's mind works.
All right.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.